Hello, reading besties. It's Miss Gray, and I am back reading to you today our new story called, you guessed it, Pajama Day. And this story is by Lynn Plord and illustrated by Thor Wickerstrom. Are you ready to read? Let's go. Pajama Day. And we recently celebrated Pajama Day at Central Elementary. So I'm glad I get to read this story to you today. It was Pajama Day at school, and everyone in Mrs. Shepherd's class arrived wearing their favorite fuzzy wuzzy PJs. Everyone, that is, except Drew A. Blank. Drew had forgotten what day it was. In fact, Drew might have forgotten his own name if it hadn't been written on his hand as a reminder. Have you ever forgotten anything? Whew, me too. Mrs. Shepherd greeted everyone. Welcome, class. Slide off your shoes and slip on your slippers to join us at our morning meeting circle. Oh, fudge. I forgot my slippers, said Drew. I knew there was a reason I tied a string around my finger. Don't worry, Drew, Mrs. Shepherd said. You can join us anyway. Drew didn't want to be the odd man out, so he rummaged in the lost and found pile. After diving and digging and pulling and tugging, Drew joined the circle wearing slippers. Later that morning, Mrs. Shepherd said, Snack time, everyone. Get out your breakfast snacks you brought for Pajama Day. Oh, double fudge. I forgot mine, said Drew. I knew there was a reason. I stuck a sticky note to my stomach. Don't worry, Drew, said Mrs. Shepherd. I'm sure someone will share with you. Drew didn't want to be the odd man out, so he asked if he could go see the cook in the cafeteria. Drew and the cook found some flour, eggs, and milk. What could they possibly make with those ingredients? After stirring and whisking and frying and flipping, if you guessed pancakes, you were absolutely correct. Drew went back to his class with an extra special breakfast snack for everyone. Next, Mrs. Shepherd announced, Hurry, class, time to line up for the pajama parade. Oh, triple fudge! I forgot to wear my pajamas, said Drew. I knew there was a reason I wrote PJs on the top of my homework assignment sheet. Don't worry, Drew, said Mrs. Shepherd. Just go to the craft corner and find something to decorate your shirt. You can join the parade when you're ready. Again, Drew didn't want to be the odd man out. So in the craft corner, he found some cloth, some yarn, glue, and glitter. And after clipping and snipping and drizzling and sprinkling, Drew joined the parade just in time. Pajamas rule! Hip hip hooray for Pajama Day! Right after lunch, Mrs. Shepherd said, Time to perform our teddy bear play. Everyone get out your favorite teddy bears and get in your places. Oh, quadruple fudge! I forgot mine, said Drew. I knew there was a reason I drew a big T on today's date on the calendar. Don't worry, said Miss Drew, Mrs. Shepherd said. You can be in charge of the curtain. But Drew didn't want to be the odd man out. So he found a furry friend and went over to the dress up corner. After buttoning and zipping and combing and crowning, see what Drew is going to do. Drew and his friend joined the play, and it was a big hit. Later that afternoon, Mrs. Shepherd said, "Now it's silent reading time. Everyone grab a book from the shelf and the pillows you brought from home and get cozy." Oh, quintuple fudge! I forgot my pillow. I knew there was a reason why I set the alarm on my wristwatch so I'd remember it. "Don't worry, Drew," said Mrs. Shepherd. "Just roll up your sweater and make it a pillow." But Drew didn't want to be the odd man out. So he went over to the odds and ends drawer, and after huffing and puffing and twisting and tying, Drew joined the rest of the class with a pillow. Wow, he made a balloon pillow. Isn't that awesome? At last, Mrs. Shepherd's class settled down for silent reading. Everyone snuggled up on their pillows and opened their books. And the only sound coming from Mrs. Shepherd's class was all of the kids were sleeping. After curling up with their pillows and books and getting all comfy and cozy, everyone snoozed. Everyone except Drew A. Blank. He tossed and turned and fussed and fidgeted. He couldn't sleep. He had the nagging feeling he was forgetting something. "What is it?" thought Drew. "What am I forgetting this time?" He checked his strings, his sticky notes, his to-do list. What could it be, Drew worried. Drew tossed and turned one too many times on his balloon pillow and... Mrs. Shepherd and all the other students woke up with a start. "Yikes! What was that? Ow! That hurt my ears," another student said. "Hey, who woke me up? Where am I?" said another little boy. "Sorry, everyone. My pillow popped," said Drew. "I was trying so hard to remember something." Mrs. Shepherd looked at her watch and said, "Why, thank you, Drew, for waking us. It's time to go home. Everyone, hurry, or you will miss the bus." Mrs. Shepherd's students grabbed their teddies, books, and pillows and raced out to the bus. But as Drew started to scrunch his toes in his socks, he noticed a note on the bottom of his foot. "Don't take the bus. Mom will pick you up after school today." Drew wiggled his toes at Mrs. Shepherd. "See, that's what I was trying so hard to remember." "Well, now you know, Drew," said Mrs. Shepherd. "But why is your mom picking you up today?" But before Drew could draw a blank, his mother arrived. "Oh, thank you, Mrs. Shepherd, for making Drew wait for me. There's not a minute to waste. Let's get going, Drew. First, there's your piano lesson, then your dentist appointment, then soccer practice, then the scout meeting. Then, later that night, Drew plopped onto his bed, all pooped out from pajama day. As a matter of fact, he was so pooped that he forgot to put on his pajamas. Wow, that was a great story. I really enjoyed reading Pajama Day. I hope you enjoy reading it as well. Good night, Lowndes County. See you next time.